94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. That's probably enough for today. Hello, welcome to this week's Thought Bubble. Our theme this time is discipline. Now, what does discipline mean? Some people might think it's just punishment, but in actual fact, discipline is just training. Sometimes it might look like punishment, but the whole point of discipline is either someone trying to train you or you trying to train yourself. You need a bit more discipline than being lazy like me. It's having a resolve in ourselves and a self-control that we're going to determine to do a certain thing. We're going to stick to it. We're going to commit. Now, you might experience discipline from teachers or coaches or parents and carers. They might try and get you to do something. They might try and make you behave in a certain way. And they're doing it for your good. They're guiding you and directing you in a good way that you should go. But a lot of the time, if we're completely honest, we hate it when people do that. We can so often feel constrained by these rules, this guidance, this training, the discipline that other people around us are trying to put on us. And we can begin to hate it for that reason. We've all been there. But listen carefully to this. Discipline from other people is a lot like stabilizers on a bike. Now, you'd never learn to ride properly without first having those stabilizers on. They help you, they teach you how to stay upright, they teach you this is the way to go. And then when you're ready, the stabilizers come off. Or it's a bit like when you go bowling and you can choose to have the barriers up or the barriers down. Discipline from other people is like those barriers. They keep us in the right way. They're trying to guide us the way we should go. But then eventually, all the discipline from outside of us begins to grow in our hearts, and it becomes self-discipline. We start to see the value of the guidance that we've heard, and we start to put it into our own lives. So it can apply to things like health training and sports, but it can apply to so many areas of life. Even who you are as a person. Discipline is so important. So let's hand over to Sam to find out a bit more.
So discipline. It can be used in lots of areas of our life. So I thought we'd start by having a few examples from a few other people.
Having discipline on St Michael's Farm is really important. You have to get here every morning nice and early. The animals can't wait no matter what the weather. It's beautiful sunshine today, but it isn't always. You also have to make sure that you are wearing appropriate PPE and always keeping yourself and the animals safe.
Discipline is about following a set of rules to achieve a personal goal or as a group. I like to think that in personal aspects of my life, I'm quite disciplined with myself in the things that I like to do. For me, that would be in performing arts. In several productions I've appeared in, I've had to discipline myself in order to perform well. In order to perform well, we have to show up to rehearsals, know all our lines of choreography in our sleep. As each performance gets nearer and the nerves set in, I could easily quit and give up. But I have to remind myself the rules that I set myself and make sure I appear on stage and not let anyone down.
When you're working in the kitchen, it's really important that you're disciplined. The first thing you need to think about is making sure that you follow your recipe. Another thing that requires discipline is using the right tools and equipment for the job. And how about timekeeping? That's really important for discipline too. And when you finish cooking, you know you're going to have to clean up. That's also discipline. I'm going to go back to making my omelette now, following all my own discipline instructions.
Okay, attention!
Discipline.
Bow.
Respect for others. Yes.
Good job. Okay, so my question for you today is what or why do you need discipline in Taekwondo?
To learn how to use moves and when to use them.
Okay, yeah, good. That's a good reason. And why is it important to follow the rules?
So you don't hurt yourself or other people.
Yeah, fab. Thank you, Nathaniel. See you later. So how do we develop that kind of discipline that we've just heard about? And maybe there's areas of your life where you have to show self-discipline. It's not easy. Being disciplined is really hard. In life, sometimes we face punishments, and punishments aren't easy to deal with. But you know what? They are important because they do teach us that element of discipline. But to be truly disciplined takes a change of heart. It involves your heart and your mind thinking about other people, thinking about your futures. So to be truly disciplined, it takes sort of 4 things. 1, are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you doing it to succeed? 2, are you following the rules because you know that they're the right thing to do? Are you doing it to please God? And importantly, are you doing it because you're putting others before yourself and you're thinking about the impact it might have on other people? Being disciplined is all about our hearts. And it's needed in so many areas of our life because it is a really important value to have. So let's think about it a little bit more. In the Bible, it says this: "Children, do what your parents tell you. This is only right. Honour your father and mother is the first commandment that has a promise attached to it. Do this so you will live well and have a long life." Ephesians 6, verse 1-3. That verse is really important, but actually it goes on further than that. And it says this: obey them, not to win their favour for when their eyes are on you, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. If people are continually having to tell you what to do and give you rules and lay them out plain in front of you constantly over and over and over again, you're not showing discipline. You're not making choices because of this. You're making choices because it's the easiest thing to do or to impress others. Why not start thinking about discipline in your life? Because I'm telling you now, it can have a much greater impact than you think. Areas of our lives that require discipline are vast. From our hobbies, like we heard about before, cooking, working with animals. Any job really requires discipline. Your schoolwork, particularly during home learning that you've just been doing, you require discipline to get up every morning, to log onto your computer and to make sure you were doing what you were meant to do. Relationships require discipline too. To have strong relationships, you need trust. And if you know that someone else is disciplined and they're not going to do something to hurt you, then that's going to build your relationship and make it stronger. I'm going to tell you a short story now. And this is a real life example. So we know that in the Bible it's teaching us to be disciplined. And there's even verses where it tells parents how to discipline their children. But really, discipline is a life value that we need to live here on earth, just like Jesus did when he was in the desert. Those 40 days, he showed discipline over and over again. He wouldn't have lasted those 40 days without it. So it's so important. And if we want to grow as a Christian and we want to be more like Jesus, we need to develop self-discipline. So here's a short story. There was a young man. He just graduated from university and he applied for a job. He was looking forward to it, but he was really nervous and anxious. And when he got there, he looked around the room and saw the other people that were applying, and his confidence was hit by a lot. The other people in the room were from better universities than him. They'd had experience in working in that field, something that he didn't have. So he wasn't feeling great about it. But anyway, he went into the interview, and the interviewer asked him a few questions, got to know him a little bit, and then asked him, "So tell me about your hobbies." So the young man told him about his passion for rowing. and how he trained every single day and the competitions he'd been to and the success that he'd had in that. The interview came to an end and the young man went on his way, and later on that day he got a phone call. There was a phone call from the manager of the company to offer him the job. The young man was a bit confused, like, why are they offering me this? The other people were far better. Then the employer told him this: you were the only candidate that showed us discipline. By talking about rowing, you showed that you had discipline to get up early every day to train in all weathers, to take orders from your coach, to work to your full potential and work as hard as you possibly could, and to work alongside others. And therefore, that's why we picked you for the job over all the others, even though they also would have been great employees. So discipline's important in life. It's not just something that should be spoken about, it's something that we should act upon. So my challenge this week is to develop your self-discipline. Think about maybe areas of your life where you're not disciplined, where you sometimes don't follow the rules, or you don't put in all the effort that you can that's going to help you succeed. Maybe it's working harder in school, maybe it's getting up earlier in the morning so that you're not rushing around. Whatever it is, whether it's small, whether it's big, think about it and see, can you become a truly disciplined person in order to succeed in life? Have a great week, everyone.